Okay, we're back. This is the rest of 7.1 and 7.2. Matgen 110, Chapter 7 notes. So this is going to be mostly 7.2. It's page 3 on the notes. I had to cut the video off because we were over 20 minutes on the last video. So here we go again. All right, so we're looking at 7.2, or 7.1, actually page 3, chapter 7 notes, page 3, number 14, it's 5 plus y over negative 5 minus y. And if we take a look at that, let's rewrite it. So it's y plus 5 and negative y minus 5. This is actually, if I factor out on the bottom a -1, look at what happens. Y plus 5, y plus 5. And so now I have -1 times y plus 5, and it's underneath y plus 5. And so we can cancel those. And we're left with 1 on the top, -1 on the bottom. 1 divided by -1 is -1. So that's the answer for 14. For 15, they're trying to trick us. They have b plus 6 over b minus 6. And we can do exactly nothing. Cannot be simplified. And the reason you can't simplify it is you can never, ever cancel things that are being added or subtracted. It has to be multiplied. This is times -1. This is sort of times +1. I can't take little pieces out. I can't go b, and then 6 divided by -6. That would be if it was 6b and -6b. Then it would be equal to -1, like the top one. Since it's b plus 6 and b minus 6, those are conjugates. They're not exactly the same, so it's not 1. And you can never take off pieces of a binomial or a trinomial. It's got to be the all or nothing. So it's either the whole thing or nothing. All right. And let's look at 16. 64 minus g squared minus 5g minus 24. So you know they're up to shenanigans when they switch the order. We always usually put the leading coefficient, the highest power thing first. And so when it's backwards like this, rewrite it. Let's factor the bottom. Multiplies being -24. We got -1 and 24, -24 and 1, -2 and 12, -12 and 2, -6 and 4, -4 and 6, -8 and 3, -3 and 8. So it's going to be -8 and 3. And on the top, we want the g to be positive, not negative. So if we would have left it like this, we could have factored it as a difference of squares. Let's factor out a -1 so that the g is positive, because look, the g's are positive on both of those binomials. And now let's factor it. So we got this. We got -1. And remember how we factor the difference of two perfect squares. We do the square root of g squared is g. We do the square root of 64 is 8. So we have g, 8, 8. One with the plus, one with the minus. And on the bottom we got g minus 8 and g plus 3. And so there we are. We cancel the g minus 8s. And so we're left with -1 times g plus 8 all over g plus 3. And this is fine. You can totally leave it like this. Do not make this mistake. It's very common where students will take out the g's. They'll be like, oh, look, a g on top, a g on bottom. It's -8/3. No. It's either you take out the whole binomial, g plus 8, or you'll leave it alone. And so we're going to leave those alone because they're different binomials. If you'd like, you could distribute the negative and call it -g minus 8 over g plus 3. That's fine. but not necessary. You could leave it either way. All right. Okay, on to 7.2. 7.2 is really the same thing as 7.1. They just are multiplying. We're just multiplying two different terms first. And remember, when we multiply fractions, it's just numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So really, there's not much difference. It's really just about, they just kind of changed the order a tiny little bit. All right, so let's look at some examples. 8x squared y over 30x cubed y cubed times 5y squared over 7x squared. So you just do top times top, bottom times bottom. So numerator times numerator, that is 40x squared y to the third, 210x to the fifth, y to the third. And now we just reduce those. So we reduce this by, what, 10 goes into both of those? So we have 4 over 21 for the numbers, 4 21st. And for the variables, the letters, we got 2 x's on top, 5 x's on bottom, cancel 1 for 1, 3 left on the bottom. We got no y's left. They completely got wiped out, and so that's it. Wait, because I took down the wrong problem. Because I got a different answer on my key. Y5. That wasn't Y3. That was Y5. So that would make this a Y5, which would make it 2 y's left on the bottom. There we go. Oh, make sure you write down the correct problem to begin with. So that's that was user error. 4a plus 8 over a cubed times 3a over 6a plus 12. So again, we'll factor. You can factor out a 4 here, divide that by 4, divide that by 4, a plus 2. We can factor out a 6 here, divide that by 6, divide that by 6. We got a plus 2. And now let's get all of our ducks in a row. This is a little confusing to start canceling stuff all over. Let's get numbers first. So 3 times 4 is 12. Letters next. There's an a variable, a standalone variable. And then binomials last. And then let's do the same thing here. We got 6, the numbers first. Variables, standalone variables next, a cubed, and then binomials last. And that way you're kind of arranging in order. It's easier to see. You're not just canceling stuff from here or there, and you're less likely to miss something along the way. So we divide both top and bottom by 6. So we're looking at 2 over 1. A to the first on top, a to the third on bottom, so a squared left on bottom, and the a plus 2's go away. So that's it. That's our answer, is 2 over 1a squared. I'm fine with that on the test. On the online, they don't want you to put the 1 there. They want you to just say 2 over a squared. They don't like the 1. They're trying to train you to be lazy mathematicians. So there aren't... there's not a 1 there, so you don't have, or there is a 1 there, whether you write it there or not. So that's why we often just don't. That's what I was talking about as a lazy mathematician. All right, so let's take a look at number 3. On the next page, 4a squared over 4a minus 6, 4a over 2a squared plus 5a plus 3. So look, this, has a lot going on. We're going to do a lot of factoring here. This first, let's rearrange it. Negative 4a squared plus 9. Then the a is going to be positive. So let's factor out a negative 1. So we got 4a squared minus 9. All right. So now let's factor that. We got negative 1. We got 2a plus 3, 2a minus 3. On the bottom, we factor out a 2. Divide that by 2. We got 2a minus 3. Over here, we still got a 4a. Here, we can use these. Look. We got 2a plus 3 and 2a minus 3. It's likely that's going to be one of our factors here. Let's try 2a plus 3. Now, let's kind of reverse engineer this thing. We'll work backwards now. Look, 2a plus 3. So 2a times a is the 2a squared, and 3 times 1 is 3. And now let's check it with the middle term. We get 3a plus 2a is 5a. So this works. 2a times a is 2a squared. 3a and 2a added together is 5a, and 3 times 1 is 3. So we got to factor that one without doing the AC method. If you want to, you could totally do the AC method also. It's fine. All right, so let's get all our ducks in a row. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4a. 2a plus 3, 2a minus 3 over 2, 2a minus 3, 2a plus 3, a plus 1. All right, and so now we cancel that, and that, and that. And so on the top, we're left with negative 2a, and on the bottom, we're left with a plus 1. And that's it. We can't do anything more with that. All right, number 4, same dog, different fleas. So let's take a look at number 4. Seven b squared minus 7, b squared minus 9, b plus 3 quantity squared, 14b squared minus 14b. So this we can factor out a 7 for starters. Divide that by 7, get b squared minus 1. We can do difference of squares, b plus 3, b minus 3. We can write that out, b plus 3, b plus 3. We can factor out a 7 out of there. Nope, a 14b out of there. And what's going to be left here? Times 14b times what? 14b is going to be b minus 1. Oh, and we can still do this. B squared minus 1. That's perfect square minus perfect square. So let's factor that one more time. B plus 1, b minus 1. And we still got the b plus 3, b plus 3. And on the bottom, let's put the 14 first. Let's put the letter b second. B plus 3, b minus 3, b minus 1. All right, let's pull out our red lightsaber. Dun, 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 dun. I think that's it. Oh, wait. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Now that's it. So on the top, we have b plus 1, b plus 3. On the bottom, we have 2b and a b minus 3. And that's it. So that's factoring and canceling. The next 4 problems on this page and the 2 on the other, it's divide. But dividing isn't any different than multiplying. Remember, divide, we never divide fractions. We multiply by the reciprocals. So we're just going to do more of the same here. Let's get those worked out. To the third, 10a squared b divided by a squared b squared over 5b to the 5th. Yes. Okay. So what are we going to do here? We're going to rewrite this. 4a cubed 10a squared b times 5b to the 5th over a squared b squared. Multiply top times top, 20a3b5. Denominator times denominator, 10a4b3. And reduce. 10 goes into 20 twice. 4 a's on the bottom, 3 a's on top, 1 left on bottom, and 2 b's left on top. 2b squared, all over 8. Number 6, 14c squared d to the 4th over 5c squared over 7d to the 3rd over 20c squared d. So this one we rewrite. Physics people often do this with the fraction divided by fraction. But what you want to do here, let's write it like a math person. Put a divided by sign instead of the big long thing. And now all of a sudden it looks like this problem. So this and this are really the exact same problem. It's just they divided it differently. Uh-oh, my board is coming loose. I'll have to repair that after I'm done with these. So we never divide fractions. We multiply by the reciprocal. So let's do that. 20c squared d over 7d cubed. And so top times top, bottom times bottom. We got 280 over 35, and we got C5, D5, and we got C squared, D to the 3rd, and now we reduce that. That actually reduces by 35. That might have been easier to take out the 7 into the 14 twice, the 5 into the 20 4 times, and instead of dividing by 35 like this. So that's 8 on top and 1 on the bottom, and then C3 on top and D2 on top. So 8c cubed d squared. All right. Okay, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 left. Yeah, I think we'll take a break and then we'll do one more video on 7.2.